just give a brief introduction now that this is being documented, and we'll go on from there. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay. All right.
Kevin Dwyer.
So I'm Kevin Dwyer. I'm the interim president and CEO of the Bainbridge Island Chamber of Commerce. That sounds like some very highbrow sort of title, but that's what it is. And I took over for a gentleman named Rex Oliver, who unfortunately passed away a little while ago. He had a bout with cancer. And I've been in the saddle here since late May, early June. And I ran the chamber back in the early aughts from 2001 to 2011. And then I went on to do some other chamber stuff and kind of retire back in mid 2015 or so. But at any rate, I guess I'm here to talk about some of the programs we're doing. One of the things we're doing is something called, can you guys see this?
Yes.
SOS, Save Our Stores and Businesses. And I'll leave this with Reed to hang up. We have, and what this is a program that came out of discussions and partnerships with. We're in partnership with on this particular program with the Downtown Association, Bainbridge Island Downtown Association, and we also before this have done put together a program and advertising, particularly around staying safe within your, you probably saw some of the posters. There's some down around town in various businesses, and you guys might even have one here. It's really just about, Bainbridge is a safe place. We're Bainbridge strong, Bainbridge safe. And we're real in the posters and the advertising and stuff is really emphasizing, the whole, everything that we're trying to do now. Wear a mask, use, sanitation, proper sanitation, and stay socially distanced. And so we've had that program going on for probably, 2-3 months now. And we just broke out with this SOS program. And this came out of a Zoom meeting that we had back in early July. And it was focused on, we had a couple of city council people and a bunch of businesses. We had about 28 people on this call, and many of them were downtown businesses and other businesses from around the island. And the focus was, it was a listening session, and the focus was, how can the city, this Chamber of Commerce, and the Downtown Association help you? What are the issues that you're facing? And a lot of these businesses, not all of them, but a lot of them are tourist oriented, as you know. Downtown Winslow in particular, a lot of the businesses are have over the years evolved into tourist oriented businesses. So there was one in particular business, Mora Ice Creamery, that said that we rely on tourism for a big chunk of our business, and it's probably 60%. Now they have stores elsewhere in Paulsville and Kingston, and they also franchise, and they have a packing plant in Paulsville where you can actually order ice cream online and they ship it. But that being said, we were kind of amazed that some of these businesses were, how reliant they were on tourism. So given the fact that one, there's not the cruise ship business going on now, there's not the convention business in downtown Seattle, there's not as much tourism. The boats were pulled back until recently to one boat, serving Bainbridge Island. So there was way less tourism, and we felt like we really needed to do something around building a local base for these businesses. So that's where this came from. Save Our Stores and Businesses, and the idea is to get you guys, and Bainbridge residents in general, to think about, hey, you know, instead of always going online to order stuff, I'm going to go down downtown Winslow or other, you know, Linwood Center, you know, Copper Top, wherever, Rolling Bay, and I'm going to buy stuff there. And whether it's, you know, I think, you know, restaurants getting takeout food, or some of the shops where people are, you can go in and buy some stuff. So that's basically, by and large, our rationale for this. And it's, you know, a lot of what we're saying is, you know, local customers are critical for the survival of a lot of these businesses. There's businesses they're safe. Everybody's wearing masks, and in fact, now the law requires everybody to wear a mask. You can't walk in a business now without doing that. If you support these businesses, you're supporting local jobs and the tax base for the local economy, and you're helping your neighbor. So a lot of these businesses are owned by people that might be living in your neighborhood or next door or wherever. So by and large, that's the gist of it. So I mean, you know, I'm happy to, I guess, you know, just to turn back the clock a little bit. A lot of you, I don't know how long some of you have been on the island. I know Reed's been here, and Miss King has been here Karen's been here for a long time. So, but going back to when I first was doing the chamber in 2001, I started like a week before 9/11 happened. And then right after that, of course, we had the Patriot Act come into play about a year later. Back in the day before that happened, people could get on the ferry in downtown Seattle, come over to Seattle. They didn't have to get off. They didn't have to disembark the boat. They could stay on the boat and go back to Seattle. As soon as the Patriot Act came into play, everybody had to get off the boat. Well, what happened over time is people started coming up to Winslow Way and say, hey, what's going on here? Now, we were already doing stuff to promote. We were working with concierges in the hotels in Seattle. We were working with the convention folks, but this just made it, this turned this into a more of a tourist area. And coupled with that, you might have, depending on how long folks have been here, you might have obviously remember, you know, we had Schmidt's Supply downtown. We obviously had Winslow Hardware. We had the Bainbridge floor covering business. You know, there were other businesses that were more, you know, what you would say essential for folks, and those particular spaces went away for a variety of reasons over time. Part of it, maybe the rents went up or whatever. And behind those businesses came in more tourist-oriented businesses, because guess what? There are a lot of tourists here. And you know, in a normal summer here, like a day like today, you could walk out there and the streets would be filled with people from across the water. So that's sort of really slowed down to a slow drip. It's nothing like it normally is. And you've seen businesses like, you know, there was the candle shop down there, Paraffin USA. They're retiring and they're going out of business. You've seen a business like, I'm sorry, I can't help you, man. I'm on a Zoom call. There's businesses like the Traveler that they're retiring. But the good news is, for that particular space, the Traveler, Shervan Rug, the Turkish rug guy that's just down the street, you know, he's going to be moving into that space.
Oh, Adam's moving in there. Oh,
yeah,
that's wonderful.
Adam's going to be moving in there. So that's going to be good. And good. Where he is, it's not clear. They wanted him to be apparently on a month-to-month rent, and he didn't want to do that, obviously. So we don't know what's going to happen with that, because that particular space there is owned by the Cave family, and they have plans for some kind of boutique hotel. Whether that's going to go forward or not is uncertain. But there's other businesses that there is some some positive news. Proper Fish was a little store that they went out of business for a while because the owner had to go back to Great Britain, and their employees have taken that over, and that's back. That's opened again from Tuesday through Sunday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for takeout. They might have some sit down. More and more restaurants. I just noticed the Streamliner that's next to the Chamber. They are now having limited outside seating. So some of this is beginning to happen. We're seeing some return to quote unquote normalcy. But anyways, I don't know what else I can add there, Karen. So
you're great.
I'm happy to answer questions.
Yes. Let's see.
So unmute yourself if you have a question.
Does anybody have a question before I jump in? So the businesses have seen a quite a large drop in customers and sales, and that's something that I personally know that we have to step up. I love living in Winslow. We moved here about 5 years ago, and I love walking to town and meeting and getting to know all the store owners. And, and we've lost a few of our friends, Roger, especially Fredrickson, very dear friend has gone. But so wonderful that Derek bought the Millstream before.
Yeah, so they're back online. They're back online, and so that's good. I mean, it's not as who knows though. I think the issue we're going to face is what is it going to look like by Christmas or so forth. What's downtown Winslow and Linwood Center. I mean, right now, because of the nice weather, people are out and about. They're biking, they're walking, they're hiking, they're getting out and about, and they're supporting these businesses. Is everybody, depending on what happens with the pandemic, is everybody then going to revert if it gets worse or whatever, and we have to, heaven forbid, shelter in place again? What's that going to do? So hopefully that won't happen. But meanwhile, once the rains start and so forth, and it gets a little cooler out, are the businesses down, say, in Linwood Center that are now the marketplace there has their donuts. They're going nuts with that. Those businesses that seem to be doing okay. The bakery there, I'm spacing out on the name. I want to say.
Yeah, Croquette.
Yeah, well, that's over here on the Winslow Mall. Yeah.
Oh, you mean that
one? They're doing pretty good. But I'm talking about Pandamore. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and they're back up and running. Of course, the Treehouse is doing pretty good. So those there's some new businesses down in Marketplace. There's Joe's Grab and Go that opened. So there are some good news stories. That the whole Copper Top area where the Bainbridge Distillery is, and then Bainbridge Brewing, and then there's other businesses. There's New Motion Physical Therapy. There's a pizza place there. They seem to be doing okay. Now again, though, it all depends on how this thing plays out, and will their businesses be doing better, as we get into the cooler times of the year. So, and that's why we started this program, because we want people to think just beyond the summer. So,
right.
Hey, Kevin, I have a question. What's going into Church Mouse?
Nothing right now. Church Mouse is that space that they are not coming back as a as a brick and mortar retail store. That's pretty much done. They're going to rely on their online business.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I just was emailing John Koval, the owner, back and forth, and it's pretty much, they're pretty much focusing on the online, and good for them. They're pretty good at it. They got into that business. Gosh, I'm thinking 10, 11 years ago, they started doing online stuff and gradually built that. And I guess they just feel like maybe it's more of a burden. They haven't said this to me. I'm just interpreting that to have that store. I mean, we all know, and I'm not a knitter, obviously, but maybe some of you ladies are. But that was a very attractive, tourist attraction for that whole community. But so that's not coming back. I'm not sure what's going to go in there. I'm sure someday that's a pretty good location. So there'll be some store that's going in there. I mean, in the old days, Bainbridge Island, the retailers, these spaces wouldn't stay open. I mean, if somebody moved out, there'd be somebody coming right in behind them. I'm not sure it's going to be quite that way anymore, but we still have a real nice variety of restaurants here. The shops on Winslow Way are more tourist oriented, and so I think the challenge for some of those businesses is, what do they have, necessarily for locals? I mean, in my world, I tend to be, if I go into you mentioned Millstone. If I go into Millstone, it's more for around, the holidays when I'm going to looking for some, gift or something. So, I mean, anyways,
a lot of a lot of them have online presence that you can order online or call.
And we're actually, you bring up a good point, because one of the things, so what we have done through this SOS program is we went to the city and applied essentially for some grant money from the CARES funding. So this is being paid through the CARES funding, or through I think it's actually coming out of the general fund. But so it's somewhere in the $20,000 range that they're paying for this, and that's great. And that's paying. We just did a direct mail piece that hopefully you guys got that at home or in your business.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, there's banners, there's advertising that's going to go in the newspapers. We're going to try to put together a steady flow of that. We've got these, banners of varying sizes like this that are out and about. And then we're going to continue to do stories on the website. The website is sosbainbridgeisland.com, and that's going to have testimonials. There's a little blog there. So like if of some interesting tidbit, let us know and we'll throw it up there for sure. So
I've been kind of impressed by the creativity. We mentioned the idea of calling in. I think that now that's a Some Pizza. You can basically put in your order online and then you just show up and pick it up. Sweet Dahlia's is doing something where you get a text on Wednesday saying, this is what our dinner club is doing. And then she's got another text that goes out on Friday or Saturday saying, we got a couple left, which is kind of a way to get the audience that.
Absolutely. I've talked to her too. That's something we'll probably throw up there, that kind of stuff. And one of the things I wanted to say, I was getting to it and I lost my train of thought, but you helped me out there, Reed, is that we want to do some series of workshops and stuff around e-commerce, because there are some businesses like the ones you mentioned are pretty, like Church Mouse, some others are pretty savvy with it. Others aren't so. I think everybody has a website, but they're not able to do any kind of e-commerce on it. So ordering a pizza or ordering food is something that they need to probably get a little better with. And, some of them are and some of them aren't. So if we can assist in any way, and again, this would be money that if we were to hire, you know, some contractors to do this, then it would come from this, you know, hopefully this funding from the city. But at any rate.
Okay.
All right. Well, good ideas, guys. Thanks. Thanks for inviting me. Really appreciate it. And,
Sure.
you know, feel free to, my email address, if you don't know, it's Kevin@BainbridgeChamber.com.